Now that you basically learned everything you need to know about creating an AI model, launching a fan view account, and attracting subscribers, it's time to talk about some legal and moral aspects of all that. Because as you can imagine, with every new technology, there comes a certain responsibility to use it in a good way, and I want to talk about all this in this lecture. So let's have a look onto my screen. Rule number one, always behave like a nice human being. And don't forget that, because even though the model and all we created here is digital and not really existing, on the other end of all this is a real human consuming the content and engaging with the model. So let's not forget about that. And this also means just because you can do something, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Because all you learn here is a huge responsibility as well to use it for the good and not for the bad. Because this new AI technology gives us a lot of opportunities that also can be used for bad things. So always keep that in mind that you should not do that. And that leads me to the third point, and this is never do a deep fake of a person without having the permission of the person, because this can get you into serious legal trouble and huge problems. And if you don't know what a deep fake is basically taking the body of a real person and just change the face. And of course, this could be a huge opportunity to increase the realism of your images. But if you don't have the legal rights to do so, you can get into serious trouble. So don't do it. The next point is to never break your moral standards. Yes, you are hiding behind the screen and the model you created is not real and not existing. But even though it can affect your mental health if you do stuff you don't comply to or you just feel that it is not right. So always check in if what you do on these platforms, also with your digital model, is what you can stand for and that it is compliant with your personal moral standards. The next point is don't try to fool people, because there are still people out there, especially older people, that don't know that AI exists and they don't know that you can create super realistic and human like images. And for them, the model you just created maybe is a real human. And you should not try to fool these people, especially when you feel that somebody is developing feelings towards this model. And if they keep asking if you're real or if you can meet in person and so on, in my personal opinion, it's not right to play with them and to pretend that you're real and maybe you can meet and so on. I just wouldn't do it. Of course, you're a free human being and you can do whatever you want, but in my opinion, you shouldn't do it. It's just not ethical, in my opinion. And this leads us to the next point, and that is always try to use your new skills for the good and not for the bad. Because with new technology comes a huge responsibility as well. Of course, it is questionable if all this like AI and digital models, AI influencers, and so on, if this is morally good or bad, or if it is good for humanity or bad for humanity, and so on. And every person, every human has to decide whether this is good or bad. In my opinion, at least regarding the adult content and the adult film industry, the AI models are actually a good thing for humanity, because adult content exists since the beginning of the internet and it will keep on existing. And oftentimes, these creators, the girls especially, they are forced to do that, and yeah, it's really bad for their mental health and also their physical health. And in my opinion, then it's better if in the future digital models are used to create that kind of content, because by that real human creators for adult films are no longer needed. And in my opinion, in my personal opinion, this is a good thing, but maybe you see it different. I just wanted to give you that thought. And the last point is obviously a very important point as well. Always obey the law which is valid for your country, because it can be that what I show you here is okay in Germany, but it's not okay in England or in other countries. So always check with your local authorities and your local laws if what you're about to do is legal in your country.